So thank you for having me, and I think there's one more guy after me standing between you guys and the lunch. So I'll try to stick to the point. Um, the idea to talk to you guys today is not particularly to sell something, because yes, Kaspersky, we are a product-driven company. We are into cybersecurity. We are 25 years old, and the stuffs around it. But the whole intent to use this platform is to do some information sharing, some knowledge sharing, uh, give you insights and aspects of cyber security as a solution or as a technology, and how to handle or how to tame this white elephant in the room. It's not easy, because cyber, if you look today, is such a complex and such a largely diversified subject that it is virtually not possible for one person who is designated as a CISO or a risk officer to take the entire ownership and drive the whole technology. We are looking at some figures right now. These are India-based figures. Okay, let's understand how the attack structure is today, where it is affecting, and how it is affecting. So this data is typically India data, I would say, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, South Asia data, which has been derived from the last 2 years. Now, if you look at the way attacks are happening, 73% of the attacks are related to cyber crime. And when we talk about cyber crime, we are talking of the typical run rate stuff which we keep reading in the news, and the awareness campaigns are always running around that, someone siphoned off some data, some ATM fraud has happened, ransomware has hit someone, and you need to pay an X amount of money to recover your data, and so on and so forth. So that contributes to 73% of the cyber attack, which is with an intent to make money out of an attack. Okay, in simple language, these are thieves, these are robbers. Not something that should be very concerning from an organization perspective, because this is the easier part to fix. The more difficult part is the targeted attacks. If you are looking at almost 19% or 18 point whatever that digit turns out to be, if that is a targeted attack, that is something that organizations need to look at it from a different lens, from a different strategy, from a different perspective, because this kind of an attack is not a cyber thief. He is genuinely a cyber attacker who needs much more, or something which is beyond monetary benefit. He requires your confidential information. He requires information about your top executives. He wants to understand what are the transactions that your organization does, what are your vendors who are doing those transactions, and how he can monetize that. And the more complex part is the 8.1%, which is APT, the real cyber attack. Now, an APT is the true non-signature based attack, where people believe that putting an EDR or an MDR or an XDR solves the purpose. It is not. I am again repeating, putting an EDR device or a tool or an EDR software on your endpoint or your server, if you are using the use case that if I put an EDR, my APT attacks will be taken care of, sorry, the myth has to be broken today. Doesn't work that way. How? Maybe that's what the session is about, and that's what I'm trying to drive in. Look at this. Now, if I go back to the slide, I would request you to match the color codes. Match the color codes. Your organization or your cyber ecosystem needs to be set up in such a way that you know what kind of solution and what kind of technology is being used at which level of protection, and what is the final outcome that you will get when you use that kind of a tool, or you use that kind of a solution, or you use that kind of a service, which nobody talks about. The best cyber tool in the world, whichever it would be, can only do as much. It can help you maybe prevent at most equations. If it gets severe, it can help you detect, or It can help you respond, but it can help. It is not something that can do automatic everything. After detection, if you need to respond, the tool will help you respond, but you should know that you have to respond to a situation. And what is that situation and what kind of response is required? That the tool is not going to tell you. That is where your cyber ecosystem comes into play, which is what this whole conversation is about. It's not about putting EDR tools or driving a SOC. It's about what you do with the tool and how you do it. Look at this slide. I'm sure this is something which you guys would have seen umpteen times because large organizations, research firms like Gartner's, IDC, Forrester's, everyone talks about this. This is the standard enterprise security model, where we talk about prevent, detect, respond, and predict. Right? This is the model which everyone is trying to work on. This model is correct, but now this model is becoming old because cyber has evolved. Even attackers know that this model is being followed. Even attackers follows this model because he needs to hop these sections to get to where he wants to. So what should be the next step? Sorry, I skipped a slide. We are talking about a situation where we create an ecosystem where we have an informed, an equipped, and a reinforced mechanism. Now, when we talk about this, we are taking one step forward from the prevent, detect, respond, and position model, which is the standard enterprise model. How and where you sit on this model is something that we need to understand and how we need to adjust to this. So when we are talking about being equipped is one, first as an organization, you need to understand what is your current state of cyber maturity inside your organization. And when I talk about cyber maturity, again, I am not just talking tools. I am saying what is the cyber maturity. That means what is the kind of workforce that you have? What is the capability matrix of that workforce? What are the kind of situations, given the tools that you have today, you can handle? And is that enough to manage the ongoing threat model which is evolving in your industry? Something which is relevant to BFSI will definitely not be relevant to someone like a Raymond or a manufacturing firm. The use cases are different. The pain points are different. The cyber maturity is different, and so are the cyber funds. So you need to have the right kind of equipped behavior within the organization, which is beyond tools. This is an exercise that needs to be conducted within the organization. Of course, there are tools to complement it, and in an equipped scenario, I can mention about tools that will help you get equipped. But having this tool does not complete your equipment. How do you get yourself to an informed level? Do you have the right information of all the tools which are there in your organization? Do you know which tool is functioning in what way and what is the kind of alert it is generating? Do you know which all your tools that you are using in your ecosystem can do more than what they have been configured for? Because whenever you put a tool and the tool is maybe a year old or 6 months old or 2 years old or sometimes even 3 years old, we do regular patch updates, right? At least that is the scenario. We are supposed to do the patch updates. We are supposed to, upgrade, update, and keep the versions to the latest possible capacity that we can do. Now, in that scenario, whenever updates come in, they come in with new set of features as well. But in my past experiences that I've had, I know people have updated, but no one has bothered to check what those updates are and what more can be done with it. It's just a compliance which we follow that, yes, updated, yes, tick in the box, updated, but updated and what? Nobody thinks about it. Please look into those systems as well, because that takes your information level and awareness level of your cyber ecosystem to the next visibility, which will help you get the best out of the tools that you are anyways existingly using. This is something which gets missed very, very often. And reinforce. Now, if you've done the first two activities, and if it has opened up new windows of surprises to you, that yes, this is something which we are missing out. Yes, this is something which we need to add. Yes, this was the kind of attack which we've seen and this is how we are planning to mitigate. There has to be an exercise which helps you reinforce it back into the system. Please understand and accept the fact that even in a situation, if you have been attacked once, does not mean that you will not be attacked twice. There have been umpteen mistakes that customers and organizations, even banks, have done. That, okay, now the attack has already happened, let me just look at what is the mitigation that we can do, and, attacks will happen because that's the way cyber world is, and so on and so forth. But trust me, those banks who did not bother to plug the gap were attacked again. And I'm talking banks. You will Google, you will get the names. Reinforcement of cyber security within the organization at a policy level, at a compliance level, at an awareness level through the organization is very, very important, which is being missed out today. And these are things which, as a brand or as a cyber solutions provider, we want to bring forward and make people think about. Now, from an ecosystem perspective, coming back to the same slide, if you look at this slide, it pretty much helps you create segmentations within your organizations of the things that you can do in these various segments. And when we are talking about the equipped part, we have to ensure that there is a seamless, or if not seamless, if seamless is an ideal condition, at least a synchronicity between the entire three processes, so that your window of visibility of a cyber attack or a cyber situation within your organization is good enough to help you take mitigation action plans on time before the damage gets out of control. One of the very important aspects of the informed side of technology today is threat intelligence. Now, threat intelligence today is, I would say, abused, highly used, misused, misinterpreted kind of a term. I would like to specify threat intelligence from a point that threat intelligence is not just threat feeds. Threat intelligence is not just dark web monitoring. Threat intelligence is not just bringing down rogue apps. No. This is the perception which has been created by OEMs like us because this is how we sell. But this is not the way you are supposed to consume it. Please understand, if you look at threat intelligence today, this is the only technology in cyber security which is predictive in nature. Every other tool or every other service or anything that you have been doing, just contemplate it for 5 minutes within your mind, or maybe 2 minutes. Every cyber technology gives you an alert at the time something happens or after something happens. It is reactive. Cyber intelligence or threat intelligence is the only solution or technology or service in the market today that is predictive in nature. It can actually help you understand and predict that something bad could happen to my system, my organization, given the scenarios that I am learning from the service of threat intelligence coming through. Now, as a brand, we still spend around 30% on R&D. My founder, Eugene Kaspersky, still codes. In fact, if you look at Kaspersky from a different lens, beyond antivirus, we are the only organic organization present on this earth today which has not acquired another brand to grow our portfolio. Everything is organic. And I have an entire offering that can go right from a basic antivirus solution to something as complex as an EDR, MDR, threat intelligence services, OT security, convergence between OT and IT, in industrial automation of things, anti-drone, neural networks. We have it all. Just that we've not been so vocal about it. So these are the platforms which we are using to bring forward what we can do. This, my friends, is a window or a small snapshot of the APT groups that we track and how each APT group is interconnected with each other and what is the purpose of these attacks. So as of today, we are officially tracking close to 400 plus cyber criminals who are functional in the APT world. Again, if you look at threat intelligence, ideally, this is the way you should categorize threat intelligence. Threat intelligence can largely be bucketed in these four regions. It is operational, strategic, tactical, as well as technical. So depending upon the kind of use cases you are trying to fulfill and based on the cyber maturity which you carry, you need to understand what form of threat intelligence is going to be of use to you. If you go back to my earlier slides when I spoke about the colors of the slides, we are talking about cybercrime being 73%. If you are taking the highest level of technical cyber intelligence and spending a few $100,000 every year, it's not going to help you because it's an overkill for you. You're not even ready to consume that kind of data which is going to be thrown at you because you're not cyber mature. You are still at the cyber crime level, protecting basic ransomware stuff to make your organization safe. So that is not the right kind of service for you. Maybe something which is more strategic could be of more relevance to you. But how many of us are actually thinking on those lines when we are talking about threat intelligence? How do we use threat intelligence to get back to the detect, investigate, respond, and planning phases? Trust me guys, a well thought about executed threat intelligence service can help you in each and every aspect of this stage of your cyber maturity. It can not only do your functional activities of being technical, operational, tactical, it can actually help you do mutual interaction with cyber, cyber analysts, or if I can use the word, the cyber scientists who are sitting on the data and help you understand how to decode a malware and how that malware will behave or misbehave once it has come inside your organization. And lastly, this is a very public statement made at one of the forums in Dubai, very recent. And I take pride in putting it up on the slides because the highest amount of cyber data is with private organizations. There is no doubt about this. No amount of government in any part of the world has the amount of information and data on cyber intelligence the way a private organizations have. And among those, Kaspersky and FireEye are the two brands that have the most information in the cyber world and the threat intelligence world of cybersecurity today. So that's my deck. This is the information that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much for sparing your attention and giving your time to me. Thank you.